here is all the different cave tours they have and the times that they have them. Now, if they're in blue, that means those are sold out. Anything in white is still available. Welcome to Tigner Adventures. We are now at Mammoth Cave Campground, and we are all set up, and this is a pretty nice little campground, so just want to kind of show a few things out to you just a little bit. The site is pretty good size, and we got trees all around us, and if you look, we've pulled out our bikes, we've got the generator out. We might get a little bit of solar though. There's a little bit of sun peeking through the trees up here a little bit, but the site that we have is a pull-through site, so we're able to just kind of, well, we kind of pulled in and then we're kind of falling off the concrete, so we end up turning around and just going straight through and then backing up to get ourselves level. But it worked out really nice, and our next site over here is right there, so it's a little bit of ways. I mean, we do have trees between us and everything, so that's kind of nice. And some of this green stuff, so we can't really see anybody, but you know what, there's not anybody here right now. It doesn't appear anyway. Pretty vacant. On the weekends they say the campground's full, but if you look down here, I'll just kind of show you. This is such a beautiful campground. It's just really pretty amazing. So they've got a few different loops here. Of course, one of them is for tents only. That's on the other side of us, and but you can just look down the road here, and there's nobody here right now. So they have very well lighted bathrooms, super clean, and they are running toilets, so flush toilets, so nice toilets, and there are no showers. There are actually 4 sites, 4 loops, A, B, C, and D, and we are in the C loop. This is all, when you check in, they just give you this little piece of paper, no information on it. The rules are up here on the side of the building. Very few rules, and it seems to be pretty nonchalant, I'll tell you. I mean, the ranger that checked us in really had I couldn't answer any questions or anything, so it was kind of weird. So but a little different than normal. You don't have to check in with your card. We just came in and stated that they don't require you to have a park pass to stay here, nor do they require a park pass to actually come to the visitor center or anything. The visitor center is just over this way, about a couple hundred yards, so pretty convenient. And there's a little store and stuff. We'll show you the store and laundry, and they even have a post office here. So we got our mail delivered here and picked it up on the way in. That was pretty convenient. So everything is just right here in this little place. They also have a pretty cool trail that runs from the visitor center all the way to Park City. And if you're not sure, I mean, we're from Utah, so we had a Park City outside of Salt Lake, but this is Park City, Kentucky. We are in Kentucky right now. And so that is a 9.1 mile bike trail that we're gonna go check out. And we're gonna go check out the visitor center. The way things work here is that everything costs. So they have all these cave tours, and each one of them costs a certain amount. And you can go online and make reservations online, and for especially Saturday and Sunday, that's definitely probably what you should do. But during the week, I don't think we kind of looked around and we're kind of confused on what some of the tours are anyway. So we're gonna go talk to the visitor center and see what we can find out for the week. But it looked like they had quite a few spots open during the week itself. So we're gonna check that out and just kind of check out the visitor center. But it's a little bit different here also, because your senior pass, which, you know, I have a senior pass because I'm now senior, and that lets me into the park and anybody in my vehicle. But here, the senior pass gives you 50% off of the tickets for the caves, the different tours they allow, but it's just for you. So in Ninette's case, she'll have to pay full price because she does not have a senior pass. Now, there's not very many parks that are like that. Most of them are just entrance types parks, but kind of interesting back here in the East, they're doing things just a little differently, because a lot of this is just maintained by individual dollars that they receive for whatever they do, in this case cave tours or whatever. So we are just riding out of the camping area where we're parked, and we're going to just take a left here and head out of the actual campground itself. And we're actually going to kind of just bypass all this and jump over here to the left, but we want to show you the store here that's just straight ahead. As we turn in to this section, on the right hand side you'll see the dump station. So they have a dump station that can actually accommodate a couple different vehicles if it had to, but they have dump station here, and then at the front of it, up there just a little ways, is fresh water, so you can get some water there. And then on the left here is the actual store, and so we're just going to kind of ride around into the front here. And you know, they have just knick-knack, you know, a few different things in there, firewood and different things that are, you know, necessary type items, but and some goodies in here and there, but not a lot necessarily. And on the left here, as we go down the side here, we actually have the laundry, and this is where the actual post office is. So we are going to head up the trail to the visitor center. Behind a little bit. Ninette's up there already. So we are at the visitor center here at Mammoth Cave. We're going to go inside and see what the cave status is for all the tours they offer, and just kind of check out what kind of visitor center it is. Well, this is a pretty good size visitor center here. We've got lots of rangers standing around to answer questions, and an information booth right over here, and you pay for your cave tours over there. And then this is the actual place that you can go in to actually learn about the cave and all the different things that are going on here. They do have videos playing. This is a mock-up of the cave. Lots of layers. What's that?
27 entrances.
Wow.
1/3 are natural. So 8 or 9 are the natural entrance, like there. Okay.
Pretty cool. And I love this part up here.
Presentation of the National Park Service. U.S. Department of Interior. All rights preserved. 2011.
So this guy's exploring the cave. Rappelling down here. So they have little reminders everywhere saying what time's your tour, because everything is tour based here. So you sign up for a tour, and then you have to go to your spot they designate to get on a bus to go to the cave that you're going to go see. This does have the historic entrance. This doesn't cost anything to walk down to. It's only about 150 feet or so, just right behind the actual visitor center. Nice trail going down through here. This is a lot of people, and this is actually one that you can take strollers on, but you can't ride bikes. And another interesting thing is that when you are on the cave tours, you can't take a selfie stick. You can take your cameras in, no problem, no selfie sticks. So this is the entrance for the self-guided tour. And so we're gonna just kind of walk down in here. The self-guided tour is $8 each. They only do it on certain days. Basically, they have to have enough people that want to do it. And so typically it's just on the weekends. And today, there's not a self-guided tour, so we get to actually go down to the entrance. When the self-guided tour is going on, they don't actually let you go down in here to check it out. But I tell you, whew, it's getting cold. So cave temperature is like 50 degrees, and you can feel that as we're going down these stairs. And anyway, pretty cool. So because the tour's not going on, they have it locked up here, and you don't have to have tickets to get to that portion of it if you just want to walk down here and see what it's all about. All right, so this is the doors you got to go through, and there is the cave. Just walking in, you can feel a nice little breeze coming out of here. You can see that quite a few stairs to get back up out of here. So these are just different sinkholes around Mammoth Cave National Park. And when this was originally set up, it was actually a state park. And the cave system actually went under a lot of private property until it was purchased for the park. And so there's all kinds of history there, and all kinds of hard feelings and things, you know, between you know, the private individuals when they found out that the cave was under their property. You know, everyone wants a little piece of the pie. When you leave the cave, they have these, because they have this syndrome thing that kills bats, they actually have that in this cave. So you have to walk across these mats that have some bleach in them and stuff to kill it. So it's not on your shoes, and you don't track it to some other cave system. Now we got the hike back up. So that gives you a little bit of a little overview of what's around here. Let's go ahead and talk about the cave tours a little bit more, because this is where we were just a little bit confused. So when you walk in the center, the first thing you have is there's a board that here is all the different cave tours they have and the times that they have them. Now, if they're in blue, that means those are sold out. Anything in white is still available. And so that's an important note to make. Now, if you do your stuff online, then you don't run into this as much because it's going to be taken care of already. But the next thing is what type of tour that you actually want to go on. And they have this little layout here that's colors that actually tells you the name of the tour, and then it has a color that's associated with that. And so that's important to know, because that's where that tour is going to actually be. And then at the bottom of this paper, and this is at the information booth, and the ranger can explain the whole thing to you, but at the bottom of that paper then, it has basically the cave is broke up into two sections. So there's basically two entrances down here on the bottom, and the entrance on the left that starts in red actually takes you right back to the visitor center, where the entrance on the right is the Grand Avenue tour, and to get back to the visitor center ends up taking you, it's like 17 miles before you would actually get back to the visitor center. So it makes a difference where you actually drop in. But that's the differences between these two. So in this case, the one on the right goes to the right, the one on the left stays to the left. And if you notice here, we got the yellow, which is the historic tour, and we've got the red. The red is the actual River Styx tour, and then there's the green, which is the Star Chamber tour. So you can get an idea here by just looking at those color codings, which ones, which tours go where. And so basically the historic tour and the old historic tour is of the yellow area, and that covers a lot of the Star Chamber and the River Styx tour. So just going with the historic tours, you know, the historic tour actually starts there at the visitor center. You go in that entrance I was just showing you that the self-guided tour starts in, and then it circles around. So just going on that one tour, you see a lot of the same stuff that you would see on some of these other tours. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then if we go to the next tour over, which is the one we did, which is the Grand Avenue tour, that one's actually 4 miles long. And the first 4 miles of that, or well, 3.5 at least, is it's made up of a couple different tours that some of them they're not doing right now, so that's why they're not listed. But the biggest thing is that at the end of that is the section where we actually run into a lot of the other tours. For example, the Frozen Niagara tour is at the end of Grand Avenue. So is the Domes and Drips tour. The Domes and Drips tour takes into the same area that the Frozen Niagara does. And so you can see by just kind of looking at some of these color codes on here, you do not have to buy a ticket to every cave tour, because a lot of them are duplicated. So if you are into the big hike and stuff that way, then in good shape, then the Grand Avenue takes in a lot of that other stuff on that side, so you don't have to pay for that. And then the other tour that we purchased is the historic tour, or in our case we got the extended historic, but it's basically the same, it just goes a little bit further, but that covers a lot of the other stuff on the other side. So just by getting those two tours alone, we got quite a bit without having to buy all the individual ones. So now, of course, each tour, the guide's going to go through different information and different history. So, but as far as the sites, you're going to see the same thing. And then one note here is the self-guided tour, if it's being offered, takes in a lot of the area that the historic, at least the top section of the historic cave tour, you see with the self-guided tour for $8. You do not go down into the deep depths or all the way into those other ones, but you see some of the things that you would see on that historic tour. And in that particular case, it's self-guided, it's $8, and you're a little limited on what you actually see. But that gives you a good idea, I think, a lot better idea than we had anyway. We were kind of confused by all that, but that gives you a pretty good idea how this is laid out. And maybe you can kind of figure out the tours that you want ahead of time and be able to actually get those set up online. All right, hopefully this has been of help for you guys. Thanks for coming along with us. This is a pretty cool place. We're glad that we're able to get here, and the campground is fabulous. Right?
Yes, we really like the campground.
Tansy really likes it, and the visitor center, they've got that set up pretty nice, and that's got to be the biggest visitor center that we've seen. And they have a lot of rangers, and of course they're selling the tours. Hopefully the information we've given you in the video will give you enough information that you could actually book your tours online. We were quite confused when we were trying to do that. That's why we didn't do it online, but it does make the booking process a lot simpler if you get it done ahead of time. So check into that. But anyway, we'll just leave it at that for now. So thanks for coming along with us today. And we'll just say at this point, we'll just say our goodbyes, and hopefully we'll see you around somewhere. And if not, maybe on our next video.
I really liked being able to ride our bikes right over to the visitor center. That was really nice.
That is pretty cool. So anyway, take care.
Bye.